Anneloes.
Hello, good to see you again.
Nice to talk to you about your new initiative, the EARTHwise Constitution. It's great to see it, great to read it, but can you please tell me more about what is it?
Thank you. Yes, I'll start by adding that it is an EARTHwise Constitution for a planetary civilization. So this is not a constitution for an organization or a company. EARTHwise in this context means how to become wise like the earth. And it's a compass for co-creating thrivable worlds and futures with the wisdom of living systems, and also from the basis of living systems to look at what are the evolutionary capacities that we need to develop personally and collectively. So this constitution has been envisioned, especially now in this time of crisis, in this time of deep systemic transformation, and transformations that don't go far enough, that don't go deep enough and don't go wide enough, to actually provide a unifying framework, like an evolutionary blueprint that we can work with to remember again what are the kind of basic principles of life itself. If we were to truly co-create our societies as thriving, flourishing, living systems, how would it look like then? So in some ways, it's like going back to the drawing board.
Yes.
To saying, look, we've been very good in co-creating a world that doesn't work. We know the systems that don't work. And we're so stubborn. We keep investing and trying to fix things that by design are not sustainable. Well, how about truly having the courage and the vision, also the love, to say, let's go back to how does nature do that? How does nature grow in complexity? We are getting more and more complex as a society. How does nature develop her capacities? How does nature enable and empower choice making, participation, evolutionary development, co-learning, co-creation? What are the systemic conditions that we really need to learn from and remember again? And how then can we apply that in our educational systems, economic systems, governance systems, political systems, where that is still so lacking? Because just on the basis of some of values only, or the old constitutions we're having, we're not getting there. We've seen that. We may put in a constitution respect for everyone, but it doesn't mean that we are going to behave in terms of respect. So this constitution, this EARTHwise Constitution, is really exploring all of those deeper values and capacities and rights and responsibilities that are rather universal, that are necessary for a thriving world and future. But really looking at if we truly want to live in such a reality from a systems perspective, then what are the conditions? What are the behaviors? What do we need to invest in? And what do we also need to opt out of? What do we need to say yes to? And what do we need to say no to? And this has to stop now. So that's kind of in essence what it is about.
Well, that's great. Who is involved?
Oh, a growing group of people. It's rather amazing because we've launched it recently, and now already 33 different organizations have adopted the Constitution and are working with it all across the board. There are organizations and movements that work very much on social innovations. Some of them are working in education. Some of the people from our partners in the Netherlands, for example, EARTHwise is one of the organizations that's also part of this.
I know them.
Yes, very well. And then there are other organizations like Social Systems Lab who are working, also contributing collaborative tools that we can work with. Our partners, Haifa and Seeds, are very much part of the movement. Evolutionary Leaders Network and Source of Synergy Foundation, the Laszlo Institute of New Paradigm Research, and so forth. So I won't name them all. You can see them all on the website. that it's a growing group, and there's a growing group also of stewards around it. Beautiful group of people. There are now 10 stewards already, and it's getting a lot of endorsements, like from our dear friends, Dr. Jean Houston, Dr. Jude Carafan, Irvin Laszlo, Lynn McTaggart, and Professor Stephen Eisenstadt. So yeah, many.
That's nice. What do you hope for with this constitution?
Oh, first of all, that people, when they're working with it and reading it, that they internalize it within, because as part of the Constitution, there's also different steps and guides and guidelines for the deeper inner transformation. This is on the basis of 5 future archetypes that I've worked with for many years. Of how do you move from potential, in this case, your future human potential of a planetary civilization, how do you move that then towards actualizing that and really embodying and expressing that beautiful consciousness of a planetary civilization? So the first thing I'm hoping that when people are reading that something resonates within themselves, and that they remember for their own transformation, their own process of future becoming, that there's a larger system here of wisdom, of help, of support. And then, of course, for me, the ultimate intention would be that we become this planetary civilization, so that we understand that right now, really, I would say, even in the midst of this crisis, this sustainability crisis, that we work with this energy of what's collapsing, what's not working, to actually make space, become a possibility space for that more beautiful world that we know in our hearts is possible, and that we can become a possibility for. So that it actually inspires us also to have that active hope, and inspires our creativity, which is what we're already seeing for those who are working with the Constitution. We have artists who are saying they want to paint it, have poets who were inspired to make poetry
nice.
with it. Yeah, we're working with an earth song based on this as well. So I really hope that it inspires that creativity, because living systems have a remarkable capacity of renewal. And I think what we really need right now is a renewal of the heart, a renewal of our wisdom, also a renewal of a gentle kind of strength, not this brute strength of the old paradigm of just marching over everything or trying to kill whatever we see as a threat. But this is really the strength of the heart, so that it helps us to rekindle again that and the heart of our humanity, and from there find kind of a common basis, a common vision and commitment for what's truly important here. What what are the resources and capacities that right now we need to bring together in order to enable that transformation in ways that we haven't yet before, because we still see so much division. And this is also where this EARTHwise Constitution helps to unite the myriads of movements and projects on the basis of common principle, common vision, and common agreements, common prioritization, so that in a way we have another tool and wisdom to say, look, this pattern of disunity, of division, we're going to stop that, first of all, in our own activities, in our own movements. We don't stop competing with each other, but truly work together and become coherent as a movement, as a meta movement for civilizational transformation.
I very love your idea and your concept, and I made a little contribution before we talked in a podcast that we made. With each other, of course, and I hope there are a lot of people will help this idea come into the world, and that we unite as a civilization to a new paradigm, to a new era, for hope and love with each other.
That's it. I hope so too, and I thank you for being part of that too, because you are also part of this growing network and all the amazing work that you've been doing to, I think, voice also the subtleness of the changes. That's what I love very much in the liminal spaces that we've been exploring in the podcast, that you've been helping to make visible, right, for people to be able to dive into that, to trust these liminal spaces,
That's
to
true.
dream this greater dream that
So there will be new years and new
yes,
eras and
that's it.
new ideas, and the Earthwise Constitution will be there.
They will be there to support us all the way, and for us to be that, to be these thriving, these living systems, because the Constitution is a reminder of that.
Yeah,
But you know, the deep systems, they are already here. We are those systems. We just have to become aware, as be smart as nature and wise as the earth.
Thank you for this short conversation.
Thank you so much.